Alright, boys, here it is. The review we've all been waiting for. The one, the only, the Megadimension Neptunia V2 review. Also known as the good old best Neptunia game. I've got notes for this one, so it's gonna be at least as good as the Xenoblade one. So be ready for that. And there are a lot of little notes and bullet points, let me tell you. Alright, starting off, or let's begin with the story. Alright, it's a Neptunia story, nobody gives a shit what happened, so I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. Because, who cares? Alright, so, this one we got 3 separate arcs. The first arc is the Zero Dimension arc. And the Zero Dimension arc, you get to play as Neptune, Nepgear, Uzume, Big Nep. And basically the eventual 4 of you all band together to fight the Dark CPU, the Dark Purple. Which Dark CPUs are the first main antagonist you have. And along the way you'll meet a couple of other people. Lots of weird monsters. And try to get back to the hyperdimension. Which leads us to the second arc. The hyperdimension arc. Here we've got some twats called the Gold Third who get magic powers and suddenly become super powerful. They're basically as strong as CPUs. Which, if you don't know, CPUs are like, they're basically like Super Saiyans, kind of. They might as well be. But yeah, Gold Third, and they're called the Gold Third because they're the golden third parties from the old days. I'll go in depth with them later when I get to the characters. But yeah, hyperdimension is you. The first part is you stopping the Gold Third, and then you and the Gold Third band together. Okay, well actually, hold on, let me restart, because hyperdimension also has 4 parts to it. It's an arc in itself, but there's 4 parts. There's the Planet Neptune part, the Lowy part, the Last Station part, and the Lean Box part. Planet Neptune, you get Neptune IF Compa. Last Station, you get Noir Uni. Oh, you also get Bisha and Planet Neptune. Oh yeah, Last Station, you get Noir Uni and Keisha. Louis, you get Blonde Ram Ram Sisha. Lean Box, you get Vert, Netgear, and Esha. And that's all the characters. Now, since all the routes are split, you're not gonna be able to like make different parties and stuff quite yet. But that does give you a taste of all the characters that are in the game, except Uzume, who's in Big Nep. They're still in a Zero Dimension. But yeah, you all band together eventually, and then you have to fight Steamax and Afimojas, who were the ones that caused the whole Gold Third thing to happen in the first place. And then you find out there's a true villain behind everything all along, and that's what leads to the third arc, the Heart Dimension. And here you're gonna go fight Uzume's shadow clone, Kurome, and put an end to her, what is it, delusions? Distortions? I don't remember. Put an end to her evilness. Actually, this might be a lot quicker than I thought it would be. And, there's a normal end and a true end. Only 2 endings in this one. There is a bad end, but you don't actually, like, get anything for doing it, so there's no point. But yeah, only 2 endings, thank God. The true ending has more content, obviously. Normal end just kind of ends with Uzume dying. Whereas with the true ending, you get Uzume, you get to fight Kurome solo with Uzume, and just whoop her, and then they like fuse or something, and then Uzume can travel to Hyperdimension, I guess. And Big Nep's there too. Oh, I forgot to say, in the Hyperdimension arc, she's kind of an antagonist for a little bit. When she's just pretending though. I don't know. That's a thing. Yeah. Alright. Well, that's all I care about for the story. Let's talk about the battle system, which I actually think is pretty good. It could definitely be better, but all the things that are culminating within all the parts of the battle system are good. It's just the execution of it that isn't the greatest, which I find myself saying a lot. But it's true, things can always be better. Alright, so first of all, we've got weapons and combo links. So usually the Neptunia series has like, well, since at least from what I can remember, maybe not the first game, but probably since like Mark II, at least Victory, there's been combo abilities, and you basically just mash rush attacks to fill your EX drive, because there's no reason to do anything else. Or power attacks if you just want to do damage, but you usually just spam rush attacks eventually. And they cost points, and you get more points the higher level you are, and the stronger the ability is, the more points it costs. That's how it used to work. Now combos, the amount of combos you can do is attached to the weapons you equipped themselves. So there could be a weapon that can only do like 1 power attack, but it can do 4 rush attacks. Or there could be a weapon that can do 2 rush, 2 power, 2 break. But the max amount of combos you can do is 4. It's 4. Because you get your first default hit, that doesn't count. Then you can either choose either rush, break, power, rush, break, power, rush, break, power, rush, break, power. But you can only choose one of each. And the weapon you have equipped has to be able to like use that number. So that that weapon that has 2 of each, you can only do 3 attacks with it, including the first one, which is just basic. And the combos link together in this one, so there could be an ability that says, this attack will be stronger if you just used a rush attack previously. And then you'll get extra damage on that combo. Which is all cool, and it makes it feel a lot better than just spamming mindlessly. However, sometimes you can find a combo that is just spamming mindlessly. Still. But it's neat. And then there's enemies have parts now. And so if you hit a certain part of an enemy that has a part on it, you can break the part off and do extra damage to the enemy. For example, at the end of the Hyperdimension one, you fight Afimojas, and he's that robot looking dude on the right. That red cape he's got, that makes him immune to damage for some reason. Well, not immune. Maybe it is immune. I think it's just very, very resistant. And then clues from the front. So you have to hit his back to try to break the cape off. And until you do, only magic attacks are gonna do a bunch of damage. So, I mean, I just spammed magic attacks and he died eventually. But still, it's neat. Once again, another thing that could be done a little better, but it's a thing. Alright, then we got basic skills, of course. Every JRPG has basic skills. You got your heals, your buffs, damage skills, range skills, AoE skills. All the standard stuff. And then you've got your formation skills, which you get by lining up your party in a certain way, and that'll cause them to... That'll give you a special boosted ability. They're not that good, but they're pretty cool to look at. But yeah. Formation skills are also... Are they free? I think they're free to use. They don't cost SP. SP's your special points. Or skill points. Probably skill points. Yeah. They definitely don't cost SP. I think they cost EXE drive though. Which, let's get to that. EXE drives, those are basically like your limit breaks. You stack them by attacking or getting attacked. You know, like a limit break. This is the thing that everybody spammed rushes for in the older games. And they got heavily nerfed in this one, so they're not even that good, which makes me sad, because there's nothing better than using Neptune's special move and just popping someone for like 100,000 damage. And just one-shotting them, that was great. But yeah, they got heavily nerfed here. But they did a unique thing where, since the CPUs get this next form, which one of them's on the left, it's like a Super Saiyan 2, more or less. They get a level 2 EXE drive, which is good. But when they use it, they lose their next form and they go back to their regular forms. But since the CPU candidates can't do that, they just get level 2 EXE drives that are pretty good. Like, they're actually pretty good. I like those. They're good enough, at least. Late game, it's better to just attack. Alright, let's see. Okay, they changed healing. So back in the day, if you leveled up, you'd fully heal. You'd get everything back. However, in this game, if you level up, you're staying at the same health and SP. So no more just grinding to get your health and crap back. You actually have to use items and skills. Which is... I didn't like it at first, but it's definitely a lot more balanced than just level up and you're fully healed. Especially since you could just find like a tougher enemy and kill him, get a free level up. Free health. Free everything. Yeah, but now to heal you have to go to the world map and go to one of the hubs. Which you don't actually enter it, but you just step on it in the world map. It's usually one of the cities. And in the cities they also nerf chirpers, which are like the little people that just tell you random crap. Which I can understand, because most of the chirpers from the remakes are just for remake exclusive stuff anyway. And quests are also a lot less plentiful, since something else got nerfed, and is pretty not necessary, thank God, which is shares. Shares are the thing that basically controlled whether you got true ending, this ending, that ending, the other ending, all that stuff in the older games. Now, shares, whoever has the highest shares, which separates between the 4 nations, and gets like a little damage boost, which is cool. And if everybody has max, or maybe even 0, I don't think it applies to 0. But yeah, if everyone has max or the same, they'll all be they'll all get the damage boost. And every time you transform, you lose some shares. Or no, not every time you transform. Is it every time? Definitely every time you die, because I remember when I was using Rom and Ram, those two twats would always die on this one boss, and my low E shares are so low, which is sad. But yeah, quests, Also got, I mean, most of, like all the quests are just fetch quests anyway, so it's not even that big of a deal. But it really kind of makes you appreciate the remake system that was in the remakes. Obviously, it wouldn't be in here because this isn't a remake. Whoa. But there is one coming, and it's barely a remake, and there's not much different at all, but I'm still gonna buy it because I'm a fucking loser. Alright. Then we've got, they added key items, which help you, like, instead of doing the plans to make you jump higher and blah blah blah, now you get key items that you make. There's like a bracelet that helps you break barrels, that's necessary. There's one that helps you break steel ones, which isn't necessary. There's one for jumping higher. Eventually you'll get super broken ones, like one that just makes enemies completely not fight you. But that's like end game stuff. Then there's the scouts and hidden treasures. So hidden treasures are pretty neat. Each dungeon has like usually 2 to 3 little treasures that you need to send your scouts in to discover, and then it tells you what to do. You do it, you get a nice little item. Usually it's not actually that nice, but I mean it's better than grinding. Well, debatably. Which, yeah, the scout system also changed. How was it in Rebirth 2? I don't know. Well, Rebirth 2 and Rebirth 3, scouts were just, basically Stella. They were just Stella. You had Stella's dungeon. But this isn't about Rebirth 2 and Rebirth 3, this is about V2. So yeah, scouts are, I mean, basically you send them out. Goes by in real time. So, same shit as Xenoblade, I know. Perhaps I just actually have some sort of sick fetish for this kind of stuff, I don't know. Scouts are, they're alright. They didn't really hurt anyone, I don't care. Yeah. That's about it about scouts. They get you items. Sometimes they'll find new enemies in the areas. You can send them. You get a bunch of them. You can send them to the individual areas. You can send multiple people to the same area to get the things you want from that dungeon quicker. Sometimes they'll bring you items and money. Sometimes they'll bring you nothing at all because you're fucking retarded. But yes, let's speak about one of the bigger problems with hidden treasures, which is a little place called Senmu Labyrinth. Which, oh boy, if you've seen my my original Neptunia series review, which is just all the mini reviews, except V2, which was like probably 8 minutes, maybe 10, I don't remember. Yeah, Senmu Labyrinth. Holy crap, I hate that dungeon. Okay, so Senmu Labyrinth is a maze with no mini-map. It's like 5 floors. You have no idea where you're going because it's just a labyrinth. No, it's not that big. It's no Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey labyrinth, but it is still pretty annoying. And for the hidden treasure challenges, you have to kill all the enemies 2 times. You have to do it once, then you do another thing, and then you have to do it again. And when I did Senmu Labyrinth the first time, I didn't know that the hidden treasure was going to be kill all the enemies. So I went to the bottom, killed the boss, and I was like, okay. Then I did it again. Then I realized, oh crap, this isn't the right boss, I have to kill the other boss. Because there's a tough enemies plan, or not a plan, but a tough if you send a tough enemy scout, it changes the boss and the enemies within the thing. So I had to go through it again. So this is the 3rd time I go through Senmu Labyrinth. I kill all the enemies. Also, there's on the very first floor, there's a hidden wall that you could not possibly know exists unless you're just jumping into the wall like a twat. And that has enemies behind it, so it's best to just look up a guide for this crap. But yes, did that. That was my 4th time through. Now I'm on my 4th time through. I've done the first challenge. I do it again. I do the other challenge. I guess that technically is my 5th time, but it really wasn't, so I'm still... This is gonna be my 5th time through for the other kill all the enemies. And this time, I accidentally got to like the bottom, and well, I didn't accidentally do it. I used the forbidden twig because I wanted to grind a little bit. A forbidden twig respawns all the enemies. What I didn't know is that if you respawn all the enemies, that means all the enemies you already defeated apparently aren't counted as defeated anymore, even though they can still just respawn naturally, and it won't count against you. So then I had to run through Senmu Labyrinth a 6th time and kill all the enemies again. So that was a little taste of hell. Not a fan of Senmu Labyrinth, but hey, something unique. Neptunia needs more nice things like that, as much as I hate it. And then you've got unique character challenges, which is basically just like break parts with this character. Use this character as the leader for a certain amount of blah blah blah. Walk this mount with this character as the leader. Jump this many times with this character. Hit blah 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 amount of attacks with this character, and every time you do a challenge you get a little bit of a stat buff. It's nice, I enjoy them. It's not something you have to max, but it's there, and it's neat. Better than not having them, I'd say. The SP buffing ones are pretty good, though. Oh boy, okay, this is a long one. Okay, let's talk about the level design. Now, once again, you might not know, Neptunia is pretty infamous for reusing assets, and I'm talking like higher than Atlas level reusing assets. It's kind of nuts. Like, I'm pretty sure that this little area called Virtua Forest has literally been reused in every single game. It's actually a little bit disgusting, but I don't really mind it that much. I kinda do, but not enough to want to shoot myself, at least. Now, if Senmu Labyrinth was in every single game, I'd shoot myself. Thankfully, I don't think we'll ever see Senmu Labyrinth again. And by we, I mean me, because nobody else is going to play these shitty games. Yeah. And thanks to the Zero Dimension and Heart Dimension, there's quite a bit of unique new areas, which is nice. It's always refreshing to actually see new areas in a Neptunia game. I love it. And then they changed the world map, so now instead of you just moving your cursor around and clicking an area and you go to it, now you're on a little like map system where you've got your character. If you played Fire Emblem Echoes or Gaiden or Sacred Stones, you know what I'm talking about. You take your character, you move them to the next section of the map. It's like little dots, and or like one of those crappy little animations where the boat is traveling across the water, and then there's like the dash 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 dash, and then they get to their destination. It's like that. And there's random encounters, which aren't bad at all. They don't. I mean, they're kind of annoying early game because of the whole you have to go back to the hub to heal. So if you get like some troll random encounter with like a rare enemy that's actually super powerful, and they just whoop you, and then you're gonna have to go back and heal, and that's kind of annoying. And there's also investment with the hub areas, so you can invest into them to get more items to buy, more items to make. And the public relations gives you free stuff, and you get to do the Million Ep quiz, which is actually the next thing on this list. Okay, cool. So Million Ep quiz, as the name implies, you do a quiz. There's like, how many are there? Maybe 6? I'm just gonna say there's 6 of them. I think there is 6 of them. Whatever. Yeah, you do all those. If you get all the questions right, you get 3 questions on each one. You get them all right, you get 1,000,000 credits. Yep, that's it. And then there's an Ep Station. An Ep Station is like this little crap dialogue thing that's like a fake news station. Fake news. That happens between like times in the story. Million Ep quiz is also Nep Station crap. It's neat. I like Nep Station. Nep Station didn't even appear until like Victory. Or Rebirth 3, whatever you want to call it. Alright, but that's all the pretty sure that's like, oh, okay, hold on. One more like battle-y game itself thing. Wait, no, where is it? Did I really not put it on here? Where the fuck is it? How could I forget this? This is the most important one. Oh my god, I didn't write it down. Okay, no, let's talk about... Oh, there it is. It's right below there. Okay, no, we got 3 more things to talk about. Alright, first of all, the skip button in this game is amazing. You can literally skip like everything. You just hold it down, everything's skipped. It's incredible. So once you get tired of battle animations, you can just skip right through all of them. Everything. It's just like, everything just, boom. Battles can end in like 5 seconds. It's actually awesome. It is the best skip button I've ever seen in any game. I wish it was like that in the older games, but it's not. There's still a skip button, but it's not as good as this one. You can literally just delete a whole cutscene within 5 seconds too. It's just awesome. I love that thing. Then the difficulty. Early game, it can be pretty tough. And during the parts where you only get to certain characters for the routes and the hyperdimension part, that can be tough too. Once you start getting like everyone back though, it starts to get easier, except for in the heart dimension. Like towards the end of that one, you have to fight so you lose the 4 CPUs and then you have to fight them. Did you lose them still? Maybe they were no, they're not clones. No, you have to fight the 4 CPUs. So you have to do that with, basically, if you're using those characters only, you're screwed. Because then you gotta use the other characters. And another thing that changed, I actually forgot about this entirely, is the level up system. Because the level up system used to be, you have characters, it doesn't matter if they're in your party or not. Because with the party you got a front line and a back line. You can switch with the front line and the back line anytime, but the back line isn't directly in the battle. Only the front line is, and you get 4 party members active at a time. So you can have a total of like 8 people in a single battle, but I rarely ever switch things. But yeah, they changed the level up system. It used to be, as long as you have that character, they're getting XP when you finish the fight. However, in this game, they have to be in the front line to get XP, or they have to have a skill called Learning, which allows them to get XP if they're in the back line. But only like 2 characters have that, so yeah, the most amount of characters you're gonna have leveled up is 6. But thankfully, 2 of those characters with Learning are not CPUs, so I guess you could have them at a high level still. And then, what's the last one? Wait, no, I'm still talking about the difficulty. But yeah. It's, definitely, it can be tough at times. But it's not, like, soul-crushingly difficult. Except for one thing. There's a Dark Souls lurking within this Neptunia, and it is known as Neplunker. Neplunker is a monstrosity. Neplunker is AIDS. I hate it. It's so hard. So Neplunker is based off of the game Spelunker. And in Neplunker, if you jump too high, or fall from a... And by too high, I mean like a foot. So if you fall like 1 foot, or if you jump and accidentally land like a centimeter more than you should have, that's a death. You die. And every time you die on Neplunker, you've got 3 lives. You get sent right back to the beginning if you die. I think you get sent... No, you don't get sent right back to the beginning. You get checkpoints, but if you lose all of your lives, then you get sent right back to the beginning. And also, enemies touching you kills you. No, wait, no, it doesn't. No, I'm full of shit. No, enemies make you exhaust stamina, though. Yes, you have stamina as well. And if you run out of stamina, you die. There's also bats that take shits on you, and if that shit hits you, then you die. There's also, I think they're little fire geysers. No, they're just regular geysers. Those touch you, you die. If the bats themselves touch you, you die. Basically, everything's killing you. Neplunker is something you just have to, like, see to believe, because, dear God, is really, really crazy. It's nuts. Yeah, that's all the, gameplay-ish based stuff. Then... let's talk about the music. Music's great. Best Neptunia soundtrack, hands down. And I've said it once already, but the Neptunia soundtrack is actually surprisingly better than it should be. It's good. There's some really good songs, like Uranus Will Be Venus. This one that's playing right now. But that's the ending song. The ending songs are usually always good. Actually, I think they're pretty much all good. Huh. They are all good. That's nuts. Which, speaking of the ending, there's also 4 opening songs in this game. 1 for just the main menu, and then 1 for each arc. Which is really cool, because that gives you 4 neat little Neptunia songs. And the openings are also usually pretty good. This is like some anime crap here. I love it. Yeah, we got 4 openings. The first one is Vision. Second one is... what is it? Morsel. Then the third one is... Actually, I don't know what the hell that one's called. I definitely know the beat, but I have no idea what the song is actually called. It's like for something like that. No, there it is. Okay, let's see. What is this song called? That is not the song I'm looking for. Come on. Oh, fuck it. Whatever. And then the fourth one, last one, is Catharsis with a K. Catharsis is neat. It's different from the other ones, but it's still good. Yeah, music, all really good. You still got your traditional Neptunia tracks like and all that garbage, which I used to think, oh god, it's this one again. Now I'm just like, oh nice, this one. And not really, I'm just like, okay, that's there. And the last and most important part up for discussion is the characters themselves. The characters are the reason people play these usually lackluster games. Alright, I wouldn't say lackluster, more just average. They're like, some of these games are so disgustingly average. But the characters are great, dude. Alright, first of all, we got the CPUs. Let's start with Neptune. Neptune is, well, she's basically not an asshole, like she kinda was in Rebirth 3. She's not all lovey-dovey like she was in Rebirth 2 either. Neptune is back to just being like Neptune again. Your little meme spouting, I'm the main character piece of trash. But she does keep getting annoyed because she's barely the main character in this game. Uzume is the main character. We'll get to her later though. Next we got talk about Noir. Noir is also pretty much the same from every other game. The Lonely Heart Tsundere. No friends. Super nice. Sometimes a bitch. Noir's the same. Vert. This is the first game Vert got a new voice in the English dub, which is the only one I use because I get annoyed by screeching females, at least Japanese ones. Yeah, Vert is Rebirth 1 Vert was the best Vert. New Vert just talks about not having little sisters and wanting everybody to be her little sister. New Vert is the shittiest goddess, hands down. The only one I'd say that's worse than Vert is Ram. But that's just because Ram is also a bitch. Fuck Ram. Not literally though. And then last but not least, Blanc. I love Blanc. Blanc is different from her Rebirth 3 one, where she was more timid and calm. Now she's back to the if you piss me off, I'll kick your ass Blonde. Which I guess she kind of was in Rebirth 3, but she was definitely a lot more mellow. She still loves her little shits. Sisters, I mean. And, yep. Quiet. Book reading. What's the word for it? I don't know. Easily angered. Has a hammer. Same blonde. Then we have the CPU candidates, or the sisters, whatever you want to call them. Little CPUs, baby CPUs, whatever. Netgear. Netgear is... Alright, let me put it this way. I used to hate Netgear. For some reason, I don't know why, V2 just made me, like, actually like Netgear. Netgear's like my main character. I always have her as the leader. I love Netgear. But in Rebirth 2, when she was introduced, Jesus Christ, I hated Netgear. I was like, where's Neptune? Netgear sucks. I don't want to play as this loser. Give me Neptune back. Netgear's a loser. Then all of a sudden, V2, I'm always Netgear as the leader. I love Netgear. I don't know why. She's basically the same. I guess she's a lot more confident. She's the most normal character, only they added she has like a boner for technology and engineering crap and just building things in general. I don't remember it being as bad in the other games, if it was even in the... I'm pretty sure it was in Rebirth 3, but she's definitely got it bad in this one. Then there's Uni. I like Uni. She's like a better version of Noir that's less of a bitch. And she's actually nice to people without automatically just going tsundere. 10 seconds later. Yeah, Uni's nice. I really like Uni as well. She was also on my party, like all the time. Who was my party? I think my party was Nepgear, Uni, Rom. Who's the other one? Maybe Vert? No, I don't remember. Was it Vert? Who knows? I think it was Vert. Or no, Blonde. Blonde was the other one, duh. Sometimes I'd swap Blonde out, but she's not that good in this game. Alright, yeah, then we got Rom and Ram. Gameplay-wise, they're pretty identical. I probably should talk about gameplay-wise, too. Neptune's good, Noir's good. Blonde's actually kind of bad. Like, they nerfed her tanking stats for whatever reason. She gets destroyed by magic damage now. Furt is good. She's a magical attack. She's like a magical damage hybrid, but she's mostly magical. Nepgear is good. She's basically the same as Neptune. Uni's good. She's a ranged character. Rom and Ram are good. They're basically the same character. They're both ranged magicians. They do a shit ton of magic damage. Personality-wise, Rom is the shy one. Ram is the bitch one, or energetic. Rom is it takes a bit more for her to trust people, but when she does, she likes them more. Ram gets jealous when Rom likes people. They're twins, blah blah blah. Read the manga. Alright. Then, we've got IF and Compa. IF and Compa have had their roles heavily reduced with every single game that comes. Because in Rebirth 1, they're like your two best friends. Rebirth 2, they're still, they help Nepgear out. And they're her friends now, too. Rebirth 3, they don't even exist as party members unless you get stupid free DLC. And I'm pretty sure they don't even exist in, like, as party members in Victory. But you do watch them grow up and they're still relevant to the plot, at least somewhat. IF is. Compa's pretty useless. This game, they help you in that hyperdimension part. They join your party. You're probably not going to use them. They're not that good. I love IF, but man, she is not that good in this game. She used to be pretty dang good in the older ones. Now she's just kind of eh. Like, it's hard to justify not using non-CPUs or whatnot. Oh, especially when you get like 8 of them now. But yeah. Battle-wise, IF's still decent. Not nearly as good as she used to be. Not really good enough to justify replacing a stronger character unless you really like IF. Which, like I said, I do like IF, so sometimes I'll throw her in there. Compa's garbage. Compa is so bad. Don't use Compa unless you like Compa. Compa lost so much utility. You'd literally just stuff her in the back and use her as a heal slave now. Even in the old games, she was pretty bad. She was only good at the beginning of the first two. Like I said, in the third one, she's not even a party member unless you play Rebirth 3 on that, get that DLC. Compa's so bad. Like, she got kinda buffed, but she's still so bad. I feel so bad for Compa. It's weird too, because this is the company that makes, or are they the publishers? No, I think IF's the publisher. Compile Heart. It's Compile Heart trash, not Idea Factory trash. Right? Maybe Iffy is the one who made the game. Alright, let me put it this way. Compa is based off Compile Heart, who is either the publisher or developer, I'm not sure. But let's put it this way. On Twitter, they don't even have Compa as their picture. They're using Histoire, who is another character. I love Histoire. Histoire is cute. Yeah. But no Compa. They just use Histoire. Which is pretty sad, because even Idea Factory uses Iffy. But Iffy is cute too. Alright, then we got Uzume. And she's not playable, but Kurome. Uzume is the new CPU. Mainline games seem to get new CPUs, I guess. Because last game, Victory/Rebirth 3, they introduced Iris Heart and Yellow Heart, or Plutean Pishi, which were the Mega Drive and the, shit, what the hell is Pishi? She's not a PC. I don't know what the hell Pishi is. But yeah. This game, they introduced Uzume, who is the Dreamcast. And Orange Heart is her CPU form. Uzume, in her regular form, likes to pretend she's tough. Well, she doesn't pretend she's tough. She tries to be cool. And she's kind of tomboy-y. And her outfit's actually pretty cool. It's like something straight out of the 80s or something. Orange Heart is a girly girl. Alright. I mean, like, scream alright. Alright. Not like that's an opinion or something. Alright. And Kurome is Uzume's shadow clone. Or Uzume's Kurome's shadow clone. They're basically the same thing. They're two halves of a whole. Kurome is probably the real Uzume that became. She's what became of the actual Uzume. Okay, so the Uzume who's named Uzume is what Uzume was like. And then she got locked up in the stupid Zero Dimension, and she became all Kurome-y. And at some point, her personality like split, and Uzume was born again. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. JRPG anime BS. But yeah, I like Uzume. Kurome exists. She's not like a stellar villain or anything. More threatening than R4 for the 15th time. And yes, R4 is in this game. If you don't know, R4 is a villain that appears in every single game. That is not an exaggeration. She literally appears in like every single game. Except for like the spin-offs. But even then, she still appears in some of those. Fucking R4, woohoo! And let's just talk about R4, why not? R4, her name comes from piracy, because of R4 cards. Now R4 cards are like flash cards, which people usually just use to like play pirated DS games and stuff. Yeah. And like I said, like every single game, she's in like every single game. You fight her 10 times in those games too. And no, 10 times is an underestimation. I'd say you fight R4 like 20 times in every single game. So I hope you like R4, because she's not going away ever. Even in the games, the character's constantly like, oh my god, R4 again? Can you go away? And it's weird, because in, at least in Rebirth 1, I'm pretty sure this was a Rebirth 1 exclusive thing. For the true ending, yes, I'm spoiling the true ending. Screw you. Maybe I'll review Rebirth 1 someday, but for now I'm spoiling it here. Alright, the true ending, you get you actually cure R4 of her evil purple skin or whatever the hell is wrong with her. And she becomes a good guy. Of course, that's never relevant again, because the first game isn't canon. Well, it is canon, but it's not relevant to the other games. Because the first game takes place in what everyone just refers to as the Super Dimension. Whereas the second, third, and fourth games all take place within the Hyper Dimension. So that's how they got away with the CPU candidates existing with Mark II and Rebirth 2. They just kind of more or less retconned the first game, but they didn't. It's weird. But yeah, then we got Big Neptune, who, she's got some big neps. This Neptune is the Ultra Dimension Neptune, who is not a CPU. Now, Ultra Dimension was the dimension in Rebirth 3/Victory, where Pluty, and Peachy came from, and it's the dimension Neptune accidentally got sent to. But yeah, this Neptune is from that dimension, and she kidnapped a little tome girl thing called Krar, which lets her travel through the different dimensions, and she said she wants to just travel through dimensions and do crap. Oh, to collect specimens, because she has a specimen book, which is magical and apparently can just capture anything, including Krar. Don't know where she got it, but it's probably one of the most powerful things in these games, considering, once again, you literally just capture anything. She even captured the deity of sin, /R4. Alright, then we got Gold Third. Oh wait, hold on, I'm not done with Big Nep. Big Nep is literally just a bigger version of Neptune. And she uses dual swords. Oh, I forgot to do this battle thing again. Alright, Uzume is good. She's CPU, she's good. You can use her. Got a lot of neat attacks too. I like her skills. They're pretty funny. Yeah, Big Nep. Dual swords, she also has a gun. She's got some pretty interesting skills too. She literally has a skill where she just drops a fat thing of pudding on people. And she gets like little combo skills and formation skills with the little Nep. Regular Nep, whatever you want to call her. So yeah, alright, now let's go to Gold Third. Okay, Gold Third. Sisha, Keisha, Bisha, Esha. Sisha is Capcom. Bisha is Bandai Namco. Keisha is Konami. Esha is Square. Esha also has another person in her head who is Isha. Isha is Enix. So Square Enix. But Isha isn't relevant, so it's basically just Esha. Sometimes Isha will appear, but it's usually just Esha. Alright, so let's start with Bisha. Bisha is weird. She has a bazooka. She looks like some weird little Pac-Man cosplayer. And she's a Jew. I mean, she likes money. Really likes money. Like, all of her things involve credits. She really likes to talk about credits and money. Credits. And she part-times as a Clark Kent. Calls herself Presto Mask and wants to befriend all the little kitties. I don't really care about most of the Gold Third, honestly. Like, I only like one of them, which is Esha. Esha doesn't care. Esha is not interested in anything. Esha has some pretty awesome attacks, and by awesome I mean like they look cool and crap. And they're really neat looking. And yeah, Ash's whole personality is basically, oh, I don't care about that. Oh, that's whatever. Who cares? I'm not interested in this. And that's why I like Esha though. Because it's just like me. Alright, and then we got let's do Sisha. We'll save the worst for last. Alright, Sisha is... she's got some big titties. She punches things. Oh, right, Esha uses sword, by the way. And she's her and Uzume are the two characters with the learning skill. So they're always going to be like the same level as your main party members. So if like party members ever get split, those two are usually good things to fall back on if they're in your party. But yeah, Sisha uses like knuckles. And I'll chuckle. I'd rather flex my knuckles. She's also got some neat attacks. They're basically all like fighting game references. Yeah. Sisha's alright. Who's that? Keisha. Okay, Keisha's awful. I hate Keisha. Keisha's a lesbian. She likes noir. A lot. She has a really annoying voice. She does a really... another annoying voice when she goes all hard work big boss mode. She is a high schooler who is also a trained assassin. She literally sounds like some edgy OC deviant art character. I hate Keisha. But that's okay, because I also hate Konami. So you know what? That's fair. I'll just call that some good writing. And, well, that's all the party members. But we still got a couple more. We've got Umio. Umio is a talking fish. He's also a DLC party member for like $1. But DLC party members can kind of break the game because they never leave your party, and you can use them in any route, which is actually busted. But yeah, Umio is a talking fish who is friends with Uzume. Umio is voiced by Xander Mobus. Xander Mobus is the man who voiced the Smash 4 announcer and the Persona 5 protagonist. So, yeah, very interesting that he voiced him. I was not aware that he voiced Umio until I like found out about it recently by pure happenstance. And yeah, Umio's cool. I like Umio. Once again, keeping up with the trend of the there's very few male characters in Neptunia, but when there are male characters, you're usually actually pretty well written. I just wish there'd be like an actual male party member. Oh, but since Umio is DLC, Umio is actually the only technical male party member in the Neptunia game, which is also pretty sad. Yeah. Last, but not least, we've got the villains. Alright. So, let's start with the, what the hell was the villain in the first arc? Oh yeah, the Dark CPUs. Okay, the Dark CPUs have no personality. They're just giant robots that are basically just giant robot evil CPUs. But they don't even look like the CPUs, they just look like evil giant robots. So what's the point? You fight Dark Purple like 3 times, I think. And then you fight, Dark Black, Dark White, and Dark Green, too, eventually. You get the Coliseum where you can... Oh, I never even talked about the Coliseum, huh? Coliseum, lots of boss fights and crap. Challenges, blah blah blah. There's a Coliseum fight where I think you fight all 4 of the Dark CPUs at once. Maybe? Maybe I'm fucking with you, I don't know. So yeah, Dark CPs are pretty boring. But unfortunately, they're the first villain of the first arc. Then you got Steamax and Afimojas. These boys. Oh boy, these boys. Okay, let's start with Steamax. Steamax is a ninja robot that, well, let's see. He's a master ninja. And the reason why he's a master ninja is because even though he's like a robot, I'm not sure if he's like actually a robot or just a guy in a suit of armor. But I'm just gonna call him a robot anyway. But yeah, even though he is a robot man, nobody seems to notice him. He blends in plain sight. He's basically like unnoticeable. Nobody acknowledges him, so that's why he's a ninja. He is only a ninja because nobody acknowledges his existence. Steamax gets a crush on Uni. He helps take out Afimojas eventually. Him and Afimojas are like huge bros. They'd probably die for each other. They wouldn't go gay for each other though. They like women too much. Speaking of liking women, let's talk about Afimojas. That dude that's been on that screen forever. Alright, Afimojas is the leader of the brigade of the pursuers of the busty blondes. He initially felt betrayed by Steamax liking something that isn't a busty blonde, but he accepted his friend's feelings once he stopped being all brainwashed and crap. Afimojas believes in the power of money. And money is good. Money can get you everything. And everything just so happens to be anime and figurines of busty blonde women. Afimojas is my hero. Afimojas is everything I strive to be in life. Afimojas is the true hero of Megadimension Neptunia V2. A true tragic tale of a man who just wanted his waifus, man. But the money corrupted him and he almost lost his true ally. Just because he didn't agree with him. And then, yeah, Kurome I already talked. Ah, shit. Kurome I already talked about. And, there's R4. I don't need to talk about R4. I'm sure I'll talk about R4 eventually. I'm gonna have to since she's in every single one of these fucking games. But, yeah. And then there's oh, there's one more, but he's basically not even a villain. Because he's just so pathetic. His name's Warachu. He's a mouse. He's kind of like a mascot character. He's also one of the piratey people. There's a part where he gets attacked by the delusion crap. He becomes actually like a really kind of scary looking thing. You kick his ass, then he's back to regular old useless Warachu. Oh no, it's Warachu. Ah, I guess we'll just have to beat his ass again. Oh no. Yeah, Warachu's a thing. He exists, I guess. And that should be all the characters. Or at least all the ones that I deem important enough. Which means we can finally get to the end of this video, which I originally thought would be long, and then I thought, oh, this won't be long, and now look at us. 63 minutes in. Oh boy. Yeah, score. Let's get to the score. Okay. So, the characters are still great. Interactions between the characters are great. Music is top tier. I love this music. Best music in the Neptunia franchise. Hands down. Good music even without comparing it to something that you might even not even like acknowledge. Having 3 arcs was really cool, really unique, really nice. Here, I put a thing here. I put, this is the best display of the potential of this usually average series, and that's completely true. Megadimension Neptunia V2, I hope to God, is a sign for only better things to come from the eventual V3 or whatever they call it. If V3 can be better than Neptunia V2, then that means that this series really has great potential. And will be more than a shitty meme game with waifus and crap. It can actually be a good game. And honestly, I think this is a good game on its own. Is it a Persona 5 or anything like that? No. No, I can never see normal fags playing Neptunia games. But it can at least be a game that's fun for people that aren't into, like, waifus or whatever. So, personally, this is my personal opinion, I'd give Neptunia V2 a... Considering every other Neptunia game, this one would be like a 9.5. Objectively, this game's like a 8.3. Yeah, let's give it an 8.3. But 9.5 from me, boys. You heard it here first. And looks like that's finally the end of this video. Thank God. Remember to look forward to more long reviews in the future for the other Neptunia games whenever I end up beating them. Adidas.